Mahindra Logistics, we are among India's largest integrated logistics companies. What that means is, as a company, we do two things. We move goods, we move people, right? And in that space, we are probably among the top 2 or 3 largest in the country. In contract logistics, or what you call third-party logistics, we are the largest player in the country, right? And what we really do in this is we run different kinds of transportation services, different kinds of warehousing solutions, and we integrate them together. So end-to-end, a entire company supply chain can be covered. So if you take a typical manufacturing company, it has raw materials which come in, right, from various suppliers, India or overseas. It comes into a plant, it gets converted into a product, and then from the plant it goes out to a central warehouse or a large distribution center, then goes to smaller distribution centers, then goes to distributors itself. It can go to distributors, it can go to D-Mart for making products like household goods, you know, what's called modern trade like D-Mart and so on, or it can go to online platforms like Amazon, Flipkart, and then finally it comes to your house, right? What we do is we do the entire thing. So if products are coming from outside India, it comes through a cross-border business, logistics business. We run full truckload vehicles to move material into plants. Inside plants, we actually provide logistics services, what's called in-plant logistics, which is to manage their stores, feed material into the manufacturing line, help them assemble. And then as it leaves the plant, depending upon the product category, we manage the distribution of the product across multiple end customers and markets, and we can do everything from 20 kilos. What are the size of your package? What are the geographical destination you have across the country? Mahindra Logistics can handle all of that. Right? So we serve 19,000 pin codes in India out of for B2B volume. We serve 4,300 pin codes for B2C, which is individual residential households.
So 19,000 pin codes, right?
19,000 pin codes for B2B. So India has approximately 21,000 pin codes. So we serve around 19,000 pin codes for B2B, which is large packages. For individual small packages, we serve 4,500 pin codes. We operate 55 global trade lanes, which is in and out of India, okay, which approximately those trade lanes probably cover 30-35% of India's net import and export happens around those trade lanes. We participate in those lanes through our cross-border business, right? We operate around 17,000 trucks a month, right, inside the country.
All these 17,000, just for clarity, 70,000 trucks are owned by...
No, we don't own most of our fleet.
Okay.
So most of our fleet is contracted out. A very small percentage of our fleet is directly owned. Most of our fleet is actually contracted out on longer term contracts. So we do contracting in different ways. We can do what's called a long-term contract, which is where we actually take the vehicle effectively on a long-term basis on a fixed charge plus a variable charge. We also then do trip-based contracting, where we just go and hire a vehicle for Bombay, for Chennai, Bangalore, Chennai, Bhubaneswar. Roughly 70-80% of our volume is on the longer-term contracting. So we actually do long-term contracts, right? And that's important because we are focused now increasingly on how the assets are run. It's not just the economics of it. We also want to ensure the drivers are well taken care of, driver operating conditions are improved, and we can utilize and drive more waste elimination in the network if we can actually take the capacity on a longer term basis.
That has to be customized according to your needs?
No, most of them are very standard vehicles. So in fact, I mean, there are obviously open bodied and closed containerized vehicles, but generally they are 20-foot, 40-foot containers, right? There are trailers, of course, we also have for cars, for carrying cars, right? But most of them are open bodied and closed bodied standard trucks, single axle, double axle, 24 feet, 32 feet, 40 feet kind of trucks. They are customized a little bit inside based on the load patterns which are there. There's some which are temperature controlled, but those are generally, but they're very standard designs. We don't. Now we are of course upgrading vehicles, not in terms of the, you know, now as we go forward now, in fact that's a partnership or the collaboration we have launched today with Flipkart. Now we are doing a little bit more of design on the vehicle in terms of cuboid, dynamic size loading of the vehicle and so on. And we're also investing a lot more into safety and fleet management systems. So that's been in the recent past, that's been a big focus for us for several years now, but we are making a more concerted effort now. So our own vehicles, which we are now launching today, for example, for providing line haul solutions for Flipkart, those vehicles are all probably the best vehicles you will find on road. They have done survived 1 million kilometers of testing. They are probably the most crash. We've selected to work with Bharat Benz because the cab which we have got with that vehicle is probably the most crash resistant cab, or the driver's cabin which is there. We are fully outfitting with our own ADAS systems, right? So it will be one of the first large fleets in India, which will completely be 100% with ADAS.
So how many vehicles you are working on?
So over a period of time, this will probably go up to 200 to 300 trucks. Right now, we are ramping it up slowly, but it's a program which will get north of 200 trucks over a period. So as you know, trucks are normally of two, three different things, right? So they work interstate, which is long distance. Long distance normally works on large state highways and central national highways. Then you have volume which goes through intrastate, which is, let's say, Chennai to Cuddalore, Chennai to Tanjavur, right? Which is largely inside the state. And then of course you have vehicles which go inside the city, which is, let's say, from Oragadam we supply to all the places locally. So typically what happens is that this Chennai to Oragadam, etc., is what we call last mile. Okay. Line haul is when the vehicles run long distances on national highways and state highways. So it's very long distance full truck roll. So what we are doing today is, if you look at an e-commerce company, an e-commerce company moves material from long distances, brings it to a local warehouse, right? From there it sends it to a small delivery station, right? Where the order comes to a delivery station and then it comes to your house or your office, wherever you get the box. That long distance part is where the majority of the transportation cost is, right? It affects 2-3 things. It affects, it is a large amount of cost in terms of just pure expense. It is also the largest part of the diesel consumption, right, from a sustainability perspective. And it is also where delays, detentions, etc. are the highest. And therefore, typically what happens is 30 to 40% of a vehicle's uptime goes in the way it is operated. Because it comes to a warehouse, it stays for 3-4 days. It breaks down somewhere in between, then for 4-5 days it will be stuck. So that is all generally called, so that part of that stretch is, that's called line haul. Okay. There's a long distance trucks, and so that's the fleet which you're adding. We're now doing a customized, integrated, technology-driven solution, right? All the vehicles have ADAS system, all the vehicles are air conditioned, right? These are 32-feet single axle vehicles with, where the driver's cabin has a sleeping bench, a sleeping bed, so we can actually do double duty drivers.